Our first points of measurements that we need to take to be able to map these boundaries. For this gator here today, there's going to be 3 different measurements. The first one is going to be our receiver height, and then our GPS receiver inline offset, and then we'll get into setting our lateral offset for this machine as to where our virtual boundary is going to be. So for our height, all we're going to do for that one is measure from the ground to where the green meets the yellow on the receiver. Secondly, for our GPS inline offset, when I measure this, I go from the center of my axle here to the center of the receiver. And on those receivers, there are some little notches on there, little arrows that mark the direct center of the receiver. So that gives you a good line to measure off of. Next over here, you see we have our flag hanging off. This is going to be for our GPS lateral offset. This isn't going to be the one that we put in the equipment setup page. This will be the one that you see when we go to start to map the boundary. It'll ask us how far do we want to measure that distance. And now, sometimes we do have a lot of controversy as to where you set up that lateral offset, but as long as you know in your mind where that boundary is going to be, that's the most important thing. So for today's purposes, we just decided to map from the center of our machine to this outside edge of our tire here, so that when we look back, we know where that pink line in the boundary is actually mapping for us. This stick off the edge here, we have this in place for some of our implements like our planter. If we have markers on there, sometimes those hang off the row roughly around 30 to 32 inches. Also, another thing to consider is rolling baskets on your tillage implement. Those tend to stick out a little bit farther than the actual physical working width. So the idea by having this buffer stick on here is, for say, you have an edge of the field that you just have a grass pass along it, you may want to tuck that row in a little bit farther or hang a little closer to the edge of the field. But when we get to, say, a highline pole, we want to make sure that when we're auto tracking along there, that we're not going to hit anything with our implement. So that is the whole idea behind this buffer stick here.
Are you curious about more information regarding John Deere's autonomous solution? Make sure you check out this video playlist of all of the different aspects that are required to get your fields and also your equipment capable to run the autonomous solution.